Hey everyone, it's George from Blockchain DXB, and today's the 31st of August, the last working day for the month of August. And to be honest, the market is not looking good at all. The cryptocurrency market is little shy of below the $1 trillion mark, and the volume of stablecoins is still roughly around $60 odd billion. And in today's episode, we're going to be discussing about stablecoins. That is, if Tether could actually be a black swan event, not just for cryptocurrency space, but for the entire fintech sector as well. And we're going to be talking some back and forth conversation between Wall Street Journal, who has put up an article that questions the audit report by Tether USDT. Now, I'm from the cryptocurrency space, but I do agree with Wall Street Journal. The audit done by Tether USDT is definitely not professional enough. And we'll be discussing that in today's episode. As a matter of fact, couple of weeks ago, we also looked at the very same audit, which was done by an audit firm called BDO in Italy. And we'll also be discussing if the US is actually in a recession, and does that impact the price of cryptocurrencies. The chair of Federal Reserve Board, that is Jerome Powell, has constantly assured people that the US is not in recession. And guys, listen, if you do actually look at the numbers from the Bureau of Labor Statistics, that actually talks about the human resource information, that is the labor data, that is the labor demand and supply, you would have to agree with Jerome Powell. But at the same time, there are multi-billionaire investment companies that do actually believe that the US will be in a recession in the next coming years. So we'll be discussing in today's episode, who do we trust as far as the data and information is concerned, and I'd be really interested to hear your thoughts on where do you seek information so far as recession is concerned. Do you trust the government, or do you trust the multi-billion dollar companies who are saying completely opposite of what Jerome Powell is saying? And regarding UAE, we have two news as well. And the first news is about an NFT project called as Crypto Arabs. Now this is kind of similar to Crypto Saudi, but Crypto Arabs is currently trending in Twitter, in UAE and in Kuwait. So we'll briefly look at what the project is all about. And the second news is about Blockchain DXB. What I plan to do is I plan to have a LinkedIn audio only event in the month of September and October. So I'm going to try to break down what these sessions will be all about. So welcome everyone, it's 8 a.m. You're in Dubai and you're listening to Crypto and Coffee at 8, where we cover top news and information pertaining to Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi and Metaverse. And how the series of episodes on the Crypto and Coffee at 8 works is, we usually cover some top news and information pertaining to the price of cryptocurrencies, some major breaking news, occasionally short and sweet news as well. News that has an impact in the cryptocurrency world. The other two news and information is related to Dubai, UAE and Middle East in the world of Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi and Metaverse. This is followed by Ask Me Anything series, where you listeners can ask any questions from the cryptocurrency world. And remember guys, every Fridays I have an episode called Metaverse Everything, where we solely focus on Metaverse, so please check out those episodes as well. The format for Metaverse Everything podcast is completely different, and I also publish a weekly and daily report via my LinkedIn profile, and my LinkedIn profile is in the show notes below. Alternatively, you can also go to my website, that is blockchaindxb.com, and look at the blogs under the crypto blog section, or you can also go to the Medium website and search for Blockchain DXB. So let's kickstart with the price of cryptocurrencies. 31st of August, the end of August, and the cryptocurrency market is below the $1 trillion mark. As a matter of fact, it is very shy of the $1 trillion mark. It is at $996 billion, and since the last 24 hours, it is marginally up by 1.28%. The total crypto market volume over the last 24 hours is $75.71 billion, and since the last 24 hours it has gone up by 17.69%. The total volume on DeFi currently is at $4.95 billion, and guys, I really am not sure what's going on in the world of DeFi. Looks like 2022 is the death of DeFi. We had this massive event where Terra Luna collapsed. It did have an impact on DeFi, but if you've been following DeFi since the beginning of this year, the volume has been ridiculously low. So just Terra Luna's collapse isn't the main reason why the volume of DeFi is low. The total value locked in DeFi is currently at $60.11 billion. MakerDAO, which is also called as the boomer DeFi, does take the majority of the chunk of DeFi, and it currently accounts for 13.36% of all the DeFi volume, and it is currently at $8.03 billion. Now, DeFi accounts for 7.30% of the total crypto market 24-hour volume. The volume of stablecoins, once again, is only at $61.52 billion. And guys, I've been saying this since a very long time. I really am not sure what is going on with reference to the volume of stablecoins. There are two metrics which are really worrisome. The first one is the volume is ridiculously low, and the second thing is stablecoin accounts for over 90 to 95% of the total crypto market 24-hour volume. This should definitely not be the case. Today, 31st of August, the volume of all stablecoins is $61.52 billion. Now, out of the $61.52 billion, Tether USDT itself accounts for well over $50 billion, and we'll be discussing conversation back and forth between Wall Street Journal and Tether USDT, and it's up to you guys whom to believe. Now, as of today, the 31st of August, stablecoin accounts for 90.70% of the total crypto market 24-hour volume. Now, let's quickly look at comparison between Bitcoin and Ethereum. As the merge date gets nearby, the whole narrative is just getting stronger. That is, if Ethereum flips Bitcoin. Today, the Bitcoin market share is at $390 billion, whereas Ethereum's market share is at $196 billion. The 24-hour trading volume for both Bitcoin and Ethereum has gone up. Bitcoin is currently at $35.9 billion. It just might touch $36 billion in the next couple of minutes or the next couple of hours. Ethereum's 24-hour trading volume is at $23 billion, and the dominance for both Bitcoin and Ethereum have marginally gone up. Bitcoin's dominance is at 39.20%, and Ethereum's dominance is at 19.70%. Now, what do you guys think? Does this dominance percentage change in the month of September? Look, guys, in the next 2 weeks, it's going to be an absolutely massive event for Ethereum, probably for the entire cryptocurrency industry altogether. There are a lot of Bitcoin maximalists who are releasing podcasts day in and out discussing the Ethereum merge as well. Some of them have been talking negative things, while some of them, surprisingly, have been saying positive things about Ethereum merge as well. So it's going to be really interesting to track the progress if Ethereum flips Bitcoin. In today's episode, guys, I want to really discuss US recession and the impact on cryptocurrencies. Look, if you follow Jerome Powell, who's the chair of the Federal Reserve Board, he has been constantly saying that USA is not in recession. And you know what, guys? I 100% think that he is right. What you need to do is, you need to look at data from the first source. In case of US, Bureau of Labor Statistics is the place where you can get information from first source. So go to Bureau of Labor Statistics website. The link is mentioned in my show notes below. If you look at the employment data, unfortunately or definitely fortunately, I can very much confirm in saying that I do side with Jerome Powell and that US is not in recession. If you look at the labor demand and supply, there is a very strong indication that the labor market is absolutely strong in US. Now, you might be thinking that in terms of inflation, why is the inflation so high? Both of these metrics are unfortunately not connected. So US is definitely not in recession, but a multi-billion organization called UBS, which is from Switzerland, has raised the question that US recession odds are going to be 60% heading towards recession, and the analysts strongly believe that the possibility of a recession in the US is increasing, and this could be an important stress test for cryptocurrencies. So the big question is, who do you guys trust? One is to look at information from Bureau of Labor Statistics, and the second one is to look at information from multi-billion dollar organizations who most likely will be releasing these numbers in order to convince the investors to go ahead and invest in products that they want to sell. I'm not saying who is right, but what I would recommend is look at information from the first source and then make your own decision. Now, Cointelegraph has provided a brilliant article by economist Pierre Lafourcade, who feels that the latest data shows a 94% chance of the economy contracting, but added that it does not morph into a full-blown recession. So, really interesting article. So the big question is, how does recession impact cryptocurrencies? Look guys, the prices of cryptocurrency only tanked because of the excessive money printing being done by the left-wing Democratic Party. Because there was so much of excess money printing being done, that led for the prices of cryptocurrencies, in particular Bitcoin, to reach an all-time high of $69,000, and only the market share of Bitcoin at that point of time was $1.3 trillion. The entire cryptocurrency's market share was well over the $3.5 trillion mark. Today, the market share of all the cryptocurrencies is less than $1 trillion. Now, if the money printing could have worked in favor of cryptocurrencies, it is extremely possible that a recession will strongly affect the price of cryptocurrencies as well. So I'd like to ask you two questions. First is, when you look at data, who do you trust? Do you trust the government? Do you trust the multi-billion-dollar organizations? Or do you do your own research? Again, one thing which I strongly recommend, guys, and this has nothing to do with cryptocurrencies, but in terms of politics or information, we live in a world where having a lot of information is not important, but having information from first sources. And Ray Dalio, if you follow him on LinkedIn, he's been saying this, that mainstream media is making it extremely difficult for an average individual to get information from first source. So what I'd really recommend is look at information from first source. And I strongly feel that cryptocurrencies will be heavily impacted by economic recessions. And once again, our price predictions are 100% right 50% of the time. Now let's talk about the second news for today, that is about Tether USDT. And will that be a black swan event for cryptocurrencies? Now, if you've been following my podcast, I've been saying about this since more than 2 years. Wall Street Journal did publish an article that actually questions Tether USDT's audit. Now, Tether USDT did actually hire a top auditing firm called BDO, and they have different locations all over the world, but the one that Tether USDT is hired is from Italy. And they did provide an audit, but to be honest, guys, if you look at the audit, it is extremely weak. As much as I dislike to say this, but I do agree with Wall Street Journal that they are lacking crucial details in the audit. Now, in my LinkedIn profile, I did actually provide the actual audit sheet. As a matter of fact, if you go to Tether USDT's very first audit, which they did in 2019, the audit was literally a one-page document. As a matter of fact, it wasn't even one page. It was just a pie diagram that showed the reserves that they had. Now, in case of stable coins, that is an absolutely massive no. The audit needs to show the actual funds that are backed as a reserve. Now, because of this report, Tether has responded to Wall Street Journal via their blog, and they claim it as disinformation or fake news. So go through the Tether's blog post as well. And it has reassured that it is committed to maintaining its role as a leading stablecoin. Guys, once again, what I would recommend you to do is read through the Wall Street Journal article, read through the blog post, and then check the audit of Circle USDC. Now, personally, I'm a massive fan of Circle USDC only because of the audit. I have no preference between Tether or USDT, but if you look at Circle USDC's audit, they have submitted the audit to Security Exchange Commission or SEC, and the document is 783 pages long. It goes into details explaining what and where the audit is, whereas Tether USDT's audit is by BDO, which is if not one of the top auditing firms. The previous audits that they did, they had a random auditor which was registered in Cayman Islands. What I would really strongly recommend you to do is read through the audit report and you would be surprised. So this begs this question: is Tether USDT going to be a black swan event, not just for the cryptocurrency space, but also for the fintech sector in general? Terra Luna's collapse had a massive impact on other projects. Tether USDT might be at least 4 or 5 times bigger than Terra Luna. I'm hoping that the black swan event does not happen in the cryptocurrency space. So the question once again regarding Tether USDT is, who wins the stable coins race? Is it the USDC or USDT? One thing which I've been echoing since the last few months, particularly so far as Dubai is concerned, a lot of the firms in Dubai have slowly switched from accepting Tether USDT to USDC. So I'm not sure if it is a macro level agenda to switch from USDT to USDC. Another question which I'd like you guys to think over it. Now, with the FedNow project going to be going mainstream by 2023, will that pose a threat to stablecoins and vice versa? In case if you guys do want to find out more information of what the FedNow project is, listen to my episode yesterday where I discussed about FedNow project, and I also give a link that tells everything about FedNow project. And FedNow project is a stablecoin project which is done by the Federal Reserve Board in US. Now let's talk about news regarding UAE. The first one is about Crypto Arabs. Now this is an NFT project and it is currently trending on Twitter. So let's try to explore what Crypto Arabs project is. The website for Crypto Arabs is cryptoarabs.art. So it is essentially an Arabic cartoon show called Shabiat al-Cartoon, which has been turned into an NFT collection consisting of 9,999 unique art pieces that have been derived from the 10 main characters within the show. So if you are a local, an Emirati, I'm pretty much sure you would know what this television series is all about. And when this news originally got released, I did talk about Crypto Arabs as well. Now, Crypto Arabs NFTs are not only a collectible asset, they also give you access to learn and earn initiatives in the metaverse, get access to founders' networks in the GCC to fast track your regional business objectives, and you can also do good while you learn and earn, as each NFT purchase gives back to charity and offsets carbon print from the environment. So a little bit of work mentality in that as well. Now let's try to look at the utility of having these NFTs. Haidar Mohammed is the artist behind Shabiat al-Cartoon. For over 15 years, these characters have been recognized as one of the Middle East region's funniest and most popular animations. And most probably what I'm going to do is after I record this session, I'm definitely going to have a look at these series. Now, there are 4 areas regarding these NFTs, that is the Founders Network. So if you are an NFT holder, you get access to Group CEO of Lead Ventures and founder of Crypto Oasis. The second one is the Metaverse Oasis. If you are a holder of this NFT, you get access to the hub in Metaverse Oasis where you can learn, earn, and quite a lot more. The third one is Thought Leadership. If you are an NFT holder, you get Masterclass and Ask Me Anything session on DeFi, staking, Gamify, and quite a lot more. And the fourth one, which I think is brilliant, is Give Back to Charity. So they're working with the Rashid Center for People of Determination, and it also focuses on carbon print and quite a lot more. Absolutely brilliant stuff. So go to the website cryptoarabs.art. It does provide quite a lot of news and information. And they also have a few things such as pre-mint and post-mint. So loads of information on their website. So the big question is, will you guys be one of those guys who would be the holder of an NFT? Personally, I definitely do think it's a brilliant idea. Now let's talk about the next news, and that is about Blockchain DXB's LinkedIn event. Now guys, what I do is in my podcast, I have an event. Monday to Thursdays, Crypto and Coffee at 8. And every Fridays, I have an event called Metaverse Everything. But starting September, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have LinkedIn audio events. And these events will be different to Crypto and Coffee at 8 and Metaverse Everything podcast. But what I want to do is, in the month of September, I want to have at least 4 events via LinkedIn. And probably based on the feedback and based on how it goes in the learning experience, in October, I might have 8 events via LinkedIn. And it's going to be a learning experience for me. Now, if you do have any topics for the audio events, drop them in the comments below or send me an email to info@blockchaintxb.com. Now, so far as September is concerned, I definitely have planned for 4 events. The first one is about a Pentagon white paper. So the Pentagon or the White House has released a white paper which questions the decentralization aspects of Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies, and blockchain in general. So I'm going to be having a discussion where I discuss the pros and cons of that white paper. And if you do want access to the white paper, just drop me an email and I'll be more than happy to send it across to you guys. My email is info@blockchaindxb.com. The second event that I want to have is, and this is something to do with metaverse and privacy. The second event, once again, is a white paper that talks about the incognito mode on metaverse. Now, this whole hype about Web 3.0 does revolve around privacy. And there is a white paper that actually talks about incognito mode on metaverse. So I'm going to be having discussion, but it is extremely technical. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask some industry experts to be in that event and they might give a proper explanation. The third event is about Tornado Cash. Now, the US Department of Treasury did actually sanction Tornado Cash. So essentially, they have sanctioned a software. So I'm going to be having a discussion on the impact on privacy protocols and the impact of software developers. And in case if you guys do have time, check out my interview with Anish Mohammed, who's the Chief Technical Officer of Panther Protocol, and he gives very detailed explanation of what his thoughts or opinions are so far as Tornado Cash is concerned. He talks a lot about cryptography and quite a lot more. Really interesting interview. And the fourth session that I want to have in the month of September is NFTs, that is non-fungible token. We're going to be discussing the hype, the reality, and is NFT bullshit? So we're going to be talking about the success of NFTs, some use cases of NFTs, and when I say LinkedIn posts, I do feel that there's a misconception about what NFT is. A lot of the NFT startups still don't truly understand what NFT is. So in that NFT episode, we'll look at the basics of NFTs. We'll clear all the hype and misconceptions about NFTs. And if you do have any suggestions, drop me an email to info@blockchaindxb.com. Now these sessions would be roughly around 30 minutes to 40 minutes. And if you are a listener, you also have the opportunity to ask any questions. And there will also be opportunity for networking. I'm also speaking to a couple of exchanges and cryptocurrency startups. Possibly might even have a crypto giveaway, maybe even some quiz. And listen guys, if you do want to sponsor these events, drop me an email to info@blockchaindxb.com. If you want to sponsor the event, you have the opportunity to introduce your particular product, maybe even a small pitch for other investors, startup businesses, and quite a lot more. Now this will only be an audio event, and I plan to do it via LinkedIn, but at the same time, I'll also do it on other multiple platforms such as Podbean, which is if not one of the best podcasting platforms to have a live event. Even Angami, which is a UAE-based platform, and even on Spotify, and maybe even on YouTube, and the recorded versions will be available on all podcasting platforms. So that's all for today, guys, on the Crypto and Coffee at 8 from Blockchain DXB. In case if you guys have any feedback or suggestions, drop me an email to info@blockchaindxb.com. You can also check out my website, that is www.blockchaindxb.com. And you can also check out my other website, that is area2071.com, that talks everything about Metaverse. And if you like listening to this podcast, please click on the follow button, give it a 5-star rating, and share the word across. Now for the next 30 minutes, it's going to be an Ask Me Anything series, where you listeners can ask any questions about Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. So let's get started with the Ask Me Anything series. Hey everyone, it's George from Blockchain DXB. You're listening to the Ask Me Anything series, where you listeners can ask any questions about Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. How the series of episodes on the Crypto and Coffee at 8 works is, we usually cover some top news and information pertaining to the price of cryptocurrencies, some major breaking news, occasionally short and sweet news as well, news that has an impact in the cryptocurrency world. The other two news and information is related to Dubai, UAE, and Middle East in the world of Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. What you're listening to right now is the Ask Me Anything series, where you listeners can ask any questions about Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. I have a question by Vital who asks, which stable coins would you recommend? Now firstly, Vital, this is definitely not financial advice. To answer your question, which stable coin I would recommend, I would not recommend absolutely anything, and that is also financial advice. But what I'm saying right now is not treated as financial advice. Depending on your use case, Vital, you may want to check why you want to use stable coins in the first place. Are you trying to withdraw funds from altcoins in cryptocurrencies? And temporarily, if you're trying to use stable coins, in that case, what I would recommend you to do is USDC is relatively safer. But let's say if you want to do transactions on a day-to-day basis, Tether does have a lot of volume. So it depends on your use case. Another important thing is Vital, depending on which geographical restrictions you are in, you need to look at the entry and the exit point for exchanging these stable coins for fiat currencies. The most of the exchanges where you'll be having an exit point, they will be having KYCs. So you may want to check with the exchange if it's okay to use Tether USDT. Let's say if the country that you're using Tether USDT, if they are under the sanctions, and this changes from country to country, from location to location, and even use case to use case. So make sure that you look at the entry point and the exit point for you converting your stable coins into fiat currencies, then it depends on your use case. Even Binance USD is a brilliant use case. So I cannot give you my recommendations because I rarely use stable coins. I have used Tether USDT in the past. They have worked absolutely brilliant and perfect. I've used USDC in the past. They have also worked absolutely perfect. So both of them seem to be perfectly fine. You also need to understand that stable coins such as Tether USDT and USDC can be censored. So technically, they don't work in the ethos of open blockchain. The other question is, rather than using stable coins, why not just use fiat currencies instead? The option what I personally would recommend is vital is if you were to use Bitcoin using Lightning Network. That is a brilliant use case, but again, it goes back to what your use case is. Now, if you do have any specific requirement, drop me an email to info@blockchaindxb.com, because what I'll do is I'll try to understand what your use case is, and accordingly, I could recommend which stablecoin would be ideal. It is also possible that, maybe a stablecoin such as DAI or MakerDAO is ideal in your use case, or maybe an algorithmic backed stablecoin is ideal for your use case. Now, if you're worried about the cryptocurrency price fluctuation, in that case, Tether USDT or Tether USDC is relatively safe. But these stablecoins are once again dependent on the US dollar, so may as well have fiat currency in that case. So, if you do have any detailed questions, drop me an email to info@blockchaindxb.com, and I'll be more than happy to advise you on a one-on-one consultation. So that's all for today, guys, from the Ask Me Anything series from Blockchain DXB. In case if you guys have any feedback or suggestions, drop me an email to info@blockchaindxb.com. Please check out my other website, that is blockchaindxb.com. Also check out my other website, that is area2071.com, that talks everything about Metaverse. And if you like listening to this, please follow this podcast, click on the follow button and share the word across. And remember, guys, Monday to Thursdays, 8 a.m. to 8:30 a.m., we have Crypto and Coffee at 8, where we cover top news and information pertaining to Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. And how the series of episodes on the Crypto and Coffee at 8 works is, we usually cover some top news and information pertaining to the price of cryptocurrencies, some major breaking news, occasionally short and sweet news as well, news that has an impact in the cryptocurrency world. The other two news and information is related to Dubai, UAE, and Middle East in the world of Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. And what you're listening to right now is the Ask Me Anything series, where you listeners can ask any questions about Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. Thanks so much for listening, guys, and have a great day ahead. Bye-bye.